Hello and welcome back to Chat and Sports Media. My name is Aiden Rapp, and alongside me is Jake Marino. How are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm great. Just got done watching the two AFC and NFC championship games, and let me tell you, those were both great games.
Great,
The first one
great.
was a little disappointing, a little sloppy football between those both two teams, the Patriots and the Broncos. And
Yeah,
again, and we got another classic here. I know we were together watching the Rams Seahawks, and I think their first matchup on that Thursday night football game, and then we just got another classic right there with Devontae Adams playing for the Rams. Unfortunately, we'll get into it, and they did not perform, or that defense didn't perform well. I thought the offense was pretty good. Sam Darnold going to the Super Bowl, not with the Jets, but it's going to be with the Seattle Seahawks. A chance to beat Drake May and the young Patriots team over there. Following their win 10-7. Aiden, let's get into it. What should we go over first?
I just want to say I think this was the best game. I think this was Sam Darnold's best game of the season, honestly.
Pardon my shenanigans.
No, you don't have to apologize. All right, I'm pulling up a. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. So, you want to take it over first, or shall I?
Yeah, I mean, pretty disappointing game. Do we know who got the offensive MVP or the MVP of this game? I don't know who
I
should have.
don't. I don't know.
Stevenson. He had 70 yards on the ground, and this was another gritty game. And I think, like Tony Romo said, that each first down matters, and that's what it came down to. It felt like whoever had the most first downs were going to win this game. And I know you're saying
Yep.
like I'm stupid, that's part of the game, but it kind of felt that way. Whoever's going to get the extra first down is going to come out on the winning end. And I don't know if you watched the whole game, but the
I
Broncos
did.
they came out swinging. They dialed up pretty good plays, and the Patriots had to get back into it. I think I called it. I said those 3 points are going to hurt them because it's going to come down to a field goal. And the Broncos, Sean Payton getting a little greedy, not good.
And the
Patriots,
first two
yep,
3 and outs of the game too by both
yep.
teams, and then I was kinda doubting, Stidham for a while, and then I saw I don't know if you saw the 58-yard
Oh,
bomb
that
that
was
he
a
had
bomb. That was a
to
great
open
throw.
up the game,
That
their
I mean,
second drive, and
that's pretty much it. What he had, I think Sean Payton tried to get a little too cute. Coming in that that week, he's like, "Oh, you don't know about Jarrett Stidham, this, that, and that." All right, he made a nice throw, but what about when he was getting pressured? He was terrible. He
yeah,
got sacked a
face
couple times,
planted
fumbled,
on.
ran that big fumble too when he tried to throw a shuffle pass behind the line. That was when the momentum swung. Drake May, he had an okay day. He had 86 passing yards, but he ran the ball like crazy. 10 carries, 65 yards, and those were gritty 65 yards there. Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
got his nose dirty. He was playing like his life was on the line. So that's a good showing by the New England Patriots. 10 points, but those 10 points were gritty, and the missed field goals at the end of the half really, it's kind of crazy to see how the Broncos was just in that game too, despite the missed opportunities they had. So again, it was a good game, but I think the Rams Seahawks game that was much better than the first one we had today.
Definitely a lot more entertaining than the first game. I mean, it was rough, the weather conditions for the Patriots-Broncos game. I mean, just for the Broncos toward the end of the game, how the wind was hitting them in the face, and they had a very hard time, seeing, and you could definitely see how that impacted the kicks that were missed. About I don't know how many, but
Yeah, it kind of
and
it
that
kind of
hurt the Broncos.
it did, and I kind of felt that today when I was snow blowing. We got absolutely hammered with the snow, and I kind of felt their pain, what they were going through, that wind in their face. And granted, I didn't have to be there as long as they did, but yeah, that wind played a big factor in today's loss for the Broncos. And
Yeah,
now
big time.
Patriots go back across the country and go play for a Super Bowl. So
And that And if you don't mind, I mean, I say we move right to the other game here.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
think
more,
this
definitely a
a
lot
lot
more to
more,
talk about.
a lot more to say, a lot more to go through. I mean, we could just break it down by each quarter.
Let's do it. I
Uh,
like it. Let's do
do you want?
play by play, and is that gonna work out? Can I filter it by
I
quarter?
think
Yeah, yeah.
I
Here we
think
go. First
so.
quarter.
We could talk about the Seahawks getting up to early 10-3, and I think that's when they won the game. They needed to have a strong first half to propel them in the second half, and that's what they did. They came out, they absolutely ran the ball hard. Kenneth Walker, a touchdown, and those again 19 carries, 62 yards. Without Zach Charbonnet, he had a lot of duties on his back, and he carried, man. He did great. Again, Sam Darnold nearly 350 passing yards, but he had 3 passing touchdowns. Just again, a
What
crazy
a
sight to
game!
see. What a game from, and Sam Darnold, can he win the big game? Can he win the big game? I think he proved himself. Now he's going to the Super Bowl, and then another big wide receiver. It's not JSN who had 153 receiving yards. It's Cooper Cup against his old team.
Cooper Cup
That
against
go
his
ahead
old
that go
team.
ahead touchdown was unbelievable. He had 4. I think he had 4 catches on 6 targets, maybe 35 yards, but those were really intense 35 yards he had. And
Very
that
impactful.
was,
Yeah.
yes, made the game different. If the Rams didn't let go of Cooper Cup, maybe they would have been on that side. And again, another
Yes.
receiver going on the Rams side now is Puka Nacua. 9
Oh
receptions
my
at
goodness.
TD. He had that big touchdown, 35-yard pass from Stafford. And I think Stafford played great too. I think Stafford should still win the MVP despite today's performance. Again, he threw for 374 yards. Corum had 55 rushing yards. Kyron Williams had a touchdown. The only part of the Rams you could blame is that they couldn't convert on third down, and that defense was terrible. They had more holes than Swiss cheese watching them.
Yeah, they did. And you talked about the long pass to Puka Nacua, which was a pivotal touchdown in the game, and it came from a fourth and 12 that was going to end up being a punt to taunting by the Seahawks that gave the Rams 15 yards, automatic first down, and those are plays that you can't afford, especially in a conference championship. Not in any game, but especially in a conference championship. You cannot let it happen. Luckily for the Seahawks, it worked out for them. But when I was watching it in my room and I saw, the unsportsmanlike, the taunting, whatever, I was really like hoping that they would lose from that, and just so they could realize that you cannot make mistakes like that. You can't let your mouth, get in the way of how you play the game. And I think sometimes that goes outshone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think part of it that gave the Seahawks a great opportunity to win it was those 2 big muff punts. One he got back,
Yeah.
and the other one that you just can't do that. I don't know if you could. I don't know if you watched it, but the slow mo showed his eyes swell up as you realize you dropped the ball. And the first time he got it, but the second time that was big. You can't do that in that situation. Gave him a free
No.
touchdown, and the Rams had more total yards than the Seahawks by like 80 yards, which is absurd. Absurd to see. Rams, yes, they lost the turnover battle with 1 turnover, but other than that, they were neck to neck on everything. Penalties, Seahawks had 6 penalties for 50 yards, Rams 4 for 30. And again, bringing back to the third down conversion, 1 for 8 were the Rams and 7 for 13 for the Seahawks. Well coached from Mike McDonald on the Seahawks side. Sean
Yeah.
McVay, he called the good plays on first and second down, lost on third down. And other than that, they're very good in the red zone. 4 for 5 for the Seahawks, 2 for 3 for the Rams. If you can't win those games, I'm sorry, you got to reevaluate your defense here. And yeah, you could say the
Absolutely.
Rams were fighting for the secondary. And let me tell you, Rashid Shaheed to start the game, that defensive back was lost. He was absolutely lost in the sauce. So that I feel like just watching that play, you knew it was going to be a long day for that Rams secondary against those receivers like JSN, Cooper Cup, and of course, Rashid Shaheed, who's very quick. So
Yes.
pretty much it. And then not having a score in fourth quarter, which is pretty insane. We thought we'd have at least 1 score. They both
Unreal.
scored in the third quarter. Second quarter, that's when the Rams got ahead of them 10-7 in that scoring quarter. And we had a great game going into. I think it was a great game overall. Going to halftime, we knew that it was going to be a great game, and much more excited to watch than the Broncos versus the Patriots.
Yes, it was a
And
great game.
this is going to add a nice storyline for, again, the Super Bowl. We got a team traveling from Seattle as we're watching one of the clips right now of the 35-yard touchdown pass from
Absolutely
Stafford and
wild.
Nakua to pull them within
Look at
striking
that.
distance. And that's on Tyreek Woolen, former
Way to
first-round draft
stay
pick.
in bounds there. My
Yeah,
goodness.
and the last play of the game, I was hoping that they were gonna have one more playoff if he stayed in bounds. That was a
I
good
know.
tackle from the Seahawks defender, but
I would have liked to see, a little Hail Mary at the end of the
yeah.
game, but
But I think
what
this
are you
game
gonna do?
solidifies the MVP talk, and I think it's Stafford. I think it
Yeah.
was Stafford. Despite May's on the winning side, Stafford's on the losing side. I think Stafford played much better than Drake May did today, and I think Stafford deserves it. So Stafford played well. He played very well, and it's tough to see. But again, Seahawks got to give them a lot of credit. They went out there, young group. They lost their star running back last week, and
Yep.
now they're going to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. So that's what we
It's
have
great.
so far. And to talk about it, I actually just saw the Rams. Their next flight to Cancun is actually tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Meanwhile, the Patriots are heading back home, and Mike Vrabel said, if you're not on the flight at 8 a.m., you're not playing in the Super Bowl game. So they don't have a curfew. But again, he said, if they're not on the next flight at 8 a.m., they're not coming to San Fran. So I wonder how hard
That's
they're going to be
nuts.
partying in Denver.
I'd imagine pretty hard. Pretty hard.
I'd assume so. Of course, 10-7 win. But who's going to party hard more, the Seahawks or the Patriots?
I think the Seahawks got to party hard on here. I mean, that was a well fought game.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, maybe the Seahawks will party because they're at home, but why
Yeah.
do the Patriots are like top of the world? What
Yeah.
I have a question for you. What's more of a better feeling? Is it winning on the road in front of your rival, or is it winning at home in front of your home crowd?
It's always wonderful. That makes me think of like, basketball. Would you rather hit like a game-winning shot
Yeah,
away, or a game-winning shot at home? As amazing as it is to come in, especially in a conference championship, to you know the number one seeded Seattle Seahawks, and would have been nice to beat them, but personally, I think it means a lot more if you win at home, especially in the NFL, given the size of these stadiums. I mean, it's bone chilling, honestly, to hear the crowd all game long, and that's what the Seahawks did. But yeah, I mean, personally, I think it's definitely impactful to win in front of your home crowd.
yeah. Again, that's like I feel like that's a coin toss. You can win either way, right? Winning on the road's kind of like a good feeling, like saying like yeah, like we own this place, this and that. But also winning at home is
Yeah,
like such a great feeling, like just being there with the fans, being in the presence of those fans. And it's crazy feeling. I would again. It'd be a coin toss. Both are great feelings, especially when you're on the winning side. But I
I guess it
wonder. I
depends
want
on like how the game goes too. Like if it's a blowout, if it's a close game, that affects that
exactly.
affects it too.
I think in a thriller, I feel like winning on the road is a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, yeah, I
Actually,
agree.
maybe I take that back. Maybe like in a blowout, you're like, yeah, this is our place. Like
We own it.
I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, maybe we should get like an athlete on here and talk to them those
ask the
questions
question.
about that. Yeah, about the adrenaline rush they get against in opponent's territory.
So we got the Seahawks and the Patriots coming up in 2 weeks. What are we thinking?
I think this is gonna be another great game. I think this is the best. I guess opportunity. This is gonna be a great game. Yeah, you don't really have a team that's gonna dominate each other. One another. I would have liked if the Rams were gonna be in there because yes, Seahawks put up 31 points, but looking at their schedule, I think they're very inconsistent on the offensive side. One game they'll only put up 13 points, and the next they're putting up 44, right? So it's going to be a sight to see. And again, with the Patriots, I think they're very inconsistent, but they still pull out, those those great victories. And this is something we're gonna be looking forward to. And I think from the Rams, their offense was always there despite their defense. So maybe again at the end of the day, Seahawks are a well-rounded team. I think this is gonna, add controversial on who's gonna really win it for the Super Bowl here with Drake May being a young quarterback going against a
Yeah.
veteran, a veteran quarterback. We could say Sam Darnold's been in the league for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
Veteran quarterback
Yeah.
presence, a great defense. Their tenacity is crazy through the roof. They're vicious. They're rough. They'll do anything. And you said within those penalties, so we're gonna see how disciplined they are and who really wants to hold that Lombardi trophy at the end of the day.
Right. I couldn't agree with you more. And last week we made our predictions, and I know mine was a little off. Had the Patriots going, but I also had the Rams going. And I did say, I want to, kind of took an alternate path, and I said I had the Patriots winning it all. And seeing the Seahawks play tonight really kind of opened my eyes. I really didn't think they were going to beat the Rams. And, look where we are. I mean, they're heavily favored. They're minus 205 over the Patriots, plus 170. I mean, it's kind of crazy, actually. But I'm going to stick with my gut of what I said, last week. And I'm going to stick with the Patriots. But it's going to be a very close game. It's going to be a very high-scoring game. I could see easily 3 passing touchdowns from both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And
what you got to play in too is the weather. It's gonna, I imagine it's gonna be very nice in San Fran. So that means they're gonna air the ball out a little more.
For sure.
Less pressure on these. I mean, both these teams played in some really cold weather the past couple of weeks. So, it's gonna be a nice. I feel like gonna make them play more loose. And looking at the Seahawks roster right now, they have 9 guys they drafted last year, which is a crazy, storyline that could eventually unfold. That 9 of these guys on the team were all drafted last year, right? Including tight end Elijah Arroyo. He had some big catches in a couple of those victories, and just things like that is what's going to make this team stand out more than the Patriots. Yes, Patriots, they were terrible last year, got their coach. Now they're standing at this role, the chance to win the trophy. So stuff like that. Again, I really don't know who to pick here. Of course, I'm going to go with the Seahawks, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win it here.
Yeah.
But it won't be a blowout. That's one guarantee.
No, definitely not. It's not going to be like last year's Super Bowl. That was not very fun to watch. But, it was I think, people might be leaning towards the Seahawks just because of the way the Patriots played today. And, it's not that they played, in a bad way. I mean, these weather conditions were just terrible.
They're horrible. And I wouldn't sleep on the Patriots after today.
No, absolutely
that was a really hard. They missed a couple field goals.
I mean, both teams did. It was hard for both sides, and don't sleep on them. I mean, it's very difficult playing in this weather, and they're gonna come. They're gonna come to California. Great weather, and I expect to see a very, very high scoring game.
Yeah. Again, I want to take this for a grain of salt for both teams. Yes, they should enjoy their victories, but they better get back to work Monday or Tuesday and prepare to win a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Both teams, they know what they're capable of. Patriots, not as much experience as the Seahawks here with Sam Darnold, because he did go to the playoffs last year with the Vikings. Yes, I think they were first round exit, second round exit, whatever it was. Now he understands where he's at next year or this year, being in the Super Bowl. The hype surrounded by him. Who's the pressure on? Is the pressure on the Seahawks with Sam Darnold being the older quarterback, right? He's been written off many times. Now he's in the Super Bowl. Or is it the Drake May, one of the youngest quarterbacks in the league, carrying this team, Mike Vrabel, first-year coach here for the Patriots? Who's got more pressure on him?
I think 100%, without a doubt in my mind, it's Drake May.
Really?
I think so, 100%. And not to say that there's no pressure on Sam Darnold, but going to the Super Bowl and your second year in the league is an incredible feature, and it's something that Patriots fans are we've had it so rough, and it's been 4 years they haven't been in the playoffs. That's it, 4 years, since Tom Brady, whatever. But I think Drake May does have a lot of pressure on him right now, being a young quarterback,
I think
taking his way throughout the whole season, proving himself, and now he has a chance to really prove himself. But that's not to say that if he falls short that he's a problem. It's just this is his second year, and to see this out of your franchise quarterback in his second year is just something that Patriots fans can look forward to for many, many years to
and
come.
and that's my next point. Again, you talk about franchise quarterback. Here you have a guy, Drake May, in his second year. He's already secured that franchise quarterback spot, right? But now
Yeah,
we're talking about Sam Darnold, right? If he wins it here, or if he even loses, does he have it next? Does he have that spot? Does he have that next contract? Are they really going to
right.
trust him, right? Or are they going to get a quarterback? They drafted one Jalen Milroe last year from Alabama. They like his style of play. He runs it kind of like a Russell Wilson kind of play, right? So they like what they saw from Milroe. They drafted him last year in the later rounds. But is this Sam Darnold's team? They might say it now, but let's say if they get, he has a terrible game and a blowout loss, do you still trust him next year? Or you say, no, he
Right.
brought us a good run, but he did terrible. We're just going to cut him, or he's going to be our second or third stringer, right? Stuff like
Yeah.
that is to look for. And again, Drake May, it is a crazy accomplishment that he's been to the Super Bowl in his second year. But again, you can't really pick a side who's got the better storyline because these are great
Exactly.
storylines. And it just means more. And this is what, these big time players are playing for. The Super Bowl is more than holding that trophy and having champions right next to your name. It's these guys are playing for their contracts. Some guys are
Right.
going to be on the team that's not even going to be there next season, right? Some guys might get cut, some guys might retire. So it just hits a different level for I'm sure both of these teams and both of these young, not younger, I guess the rookie coaches. Meanwhile, the head coaches like Mike Vrabel, new team, new experiment, this and that. Mike McDonald. I think it's
Yeah, that's a great way to look
second
at
year
it.
as a head coach, right? So it's kind of a realization like, okay, we made this Super Bowl, but what can we do next year? Can we be consistent? And I think that's what both teams are asking for, and it's going to be
Right.
great to see them throw down in at Levi Stadium.
You don't want one good year. You want many, solid years. You don't want
Yeah,
just one,
and
prayer that got answered. You want it to keep going. Yeah.
and the great thing about it is that I don't think the Seahawks have made a Super Bowl appearance since 10 years ago in 2015 against the Patriots, with that Malcolm
Yeah.
Butler interception, that goal line
Interception at
interception
the
when
goal
they
line.
should have gave
Yeah.
it to Marshawn Lynch, right? And the
Yeah.
Patriots, they haven't been back in the playoffs after a minute since Tom Brady, right? So
Right.
this is great for these two fan bases who, just really live for these sports. And Patriots have another chance to win another championship. Again, Boston, great city. They've won many championships, as my girlfriend's father always brings up to me. They will have so much more than all New York sport teams in any city across the United States. Boston's like the hub for winning,
Austin is
and
a great sport
they
city.
could have another championship hanging in the rafters.
Yes, they can. And I just want to address this comment here. I thought it was actually a pretty good question. Do you think it's going to matter that this is the first Super Bowl appearance for both quarterbacks?
Of
100%.
course,
Great question.
that is a great
Like
question.
we said, that's kind of ties into what we were talking about. A lot of pressure on both quarterbacks, and it's hard to say who has more pressure. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great deal to both Sam Darnold and Drake May, of course.
Yeah, yeah, and again, that's a great question. We talked about it, that pressure, and we're gonna see who it gets to. Does it get to any of them? We really don't know, and that's gonna be the that's what I'm gonna look forward to. Who's gonna
Right.
fall
Will the
under
pressure
pressure?
be
Not that I
too
want
much that
anybody
silly mistakes
exactly.
start to happen?
How's the spotlight on them? Are they gonna throw that first pass, pick six, right? First
Yeah.
play, fumble, whatever it is. I still think it's gonna be a high scoring game, and I know that both defenses are gonna come crashing hard on those quarterbacks, and they're going to try to make a big influence on them. Those DCs, they love to ramp it up on these young quarterbacks, and
Absolutely.
it's going to be a sight to see. So I'm looking forward to for in 2 weeks from today.
If you look at it, I mean, they're both rookies. If you get what I'm saying, Super Bowl rookies. They've never been in this position, even though
Yeah,
Sam Darnold's much older. I mean, well, not much older, but older than Drake May, but they're really just both rookies in the positions that they're going in 2 weeks from today.
and the next question Amani said was, is there a quarterback you think is more prepared or better built for the moment? I really don't.
I think it's Darnold.
Sam Darnold, he had a great season last year, and then he folded under pressure. And you see those glimpses throughout his career. Yes, him being on the Jets, he had a couple really solid games, and he had really horrible games. You saw it with the Panthers. You saw it with him on the Vikings, right? Stuff like that. And you really don't know what you're going to get. Yes, he stood his ground with the 14-win season this year. But again,
Yeah.
I hope nothing but the best for him. But we still don't see who's going to be more prepared. They could say, "Oh yes, I'm prepared." Just like Sean Payton said with Jerry Stidham, like, "Oh, you don't know about him." Then he only comes out and has puts up 7 points for that team, and you can't win. You can't win against a good as good as your defense is. You're not going to win a football game. You could only put up 7 points.
Right,
Right.
and the pressure that you meant, falling under pressure for Sam Darnold. I mean, that's something that builds character. Sometimes that needs to happen to a player, for them to realize, like, okay, this is what I have to do. This is how I have to execute. And we're gonna see if that's the mind. I mean, I hope that's the mindset that he has, and we're gonna see if, based on his performance, of how he learned from his past mistakes and what he's gonna do to fix that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and again, this is a second coming for both of these quarterbacks. I know last year Patriots didn't want to be where they're at, and now they're where the Seahawks. And again, back to these quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, a California native, he went to University of Southern California, so we wonder if that's going to play. He's going to have a bunch of former teammates there to give him a extra shot of energy. I feel like if I had my former teammates around me in an arena playing for the biggest game in the NFL, I'd have a nice little extra boost of confidence right there. So we're going to
Absolutely.
see we're going to see an absolute showdown between these two great teams. And this is probably one of the greater Super Bowls I'm looking forward to. I hope it doesn't disappoint. I'm sure it wouldn't. But again, these two teams that you probably wouldn't even expect be playing for the for the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. We all talk about the
100%
Bills,
not.
Chiefs, Niners, right?
Yeah.
Commanders even got a little talk in the Cowboys, right? I'm sorry to
Yeah.
throw shade on your team, but
No,
all those
hey.
Packers were the big talk there. I'm thinking they were favorites to win the Super Bowl after trading for Micah Parsons, right?
Absolutely.
And then
Oh my God.
here we stand, and we got the Seattle Seahawks, right? They were probably talking about finishing third, right, in the division, and now you have again the Patriots, who probably weren't. They're probably thinking that they're going to sit in second or third too, and they're playing for a Super Bowl. So it's crazy to see. It's a full circle moment for both of these teams, and again, I'm so excited to see what's going to have for us in 2 weeks.
Great Super Bowl in store. I'm very excited. Very excited. It's switching it up, because I'm getting sick of seeing the same teams in it. So I'm really looking forward to this Super Bowl. And I have a quick question for you. So we got it in 2 weeks. I want to give me one pick for a parlay that do you think is your best pick for Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, I'm not going to say what you can and can't do since I'm a college athlete. I would get myself in trouble. But there's a lot of great options. There's a lot of receivers, and those quarterbacks, they do like to pass the ball a lot. So that's all I'm going to say. Maybe, they do have a lot of passing touchdowns. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it right there.
Right. I got you. Who's winning the Pro Bowl?
Do they even have those games anymore? I don't pay attention.
The Pro Bowl is a joke.
Yeah, I don't think that's real. We just gotta wait for the big game in 14 days.
Flag football. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap. They should do what like the NHL does.
Yeah, like what were they doing? I know the AHL just did like an outdoor classic. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felt like -20 or something like that.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the Super Bowl to end so we could talk about more sports like the MLB. Couple free agents signings just happened for the big New York Hub team, the New York Mets, right? Dodgers, they keep growing, so is their salary, right? Stuff like that. It's great to see. So
unreal. And the Yankees signed Cody B again.
Oh yeah, that's great. A big sign.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Scott Boras got the old boot up his butt, and so that's great to see Scott Boras get him pushed in the corner and humbled real quick. And I'm so glad Cody Bellinger's back. I think he's really a staple piece. I don't think he really got much love from the Dodgers and Cubs too. So I'm glad he's with the Yankees, kind of like his father. Clay Bellinger, he came to the Yankees, had a big home run in one of the playoff games for the Yankees. So that's great to see.
Yes, it is. We'll have a lot to talk about once
the NFL season is officially over.
Yep.
Be able to move on to the NBA, the MLB, and it's gonna be great. Pretty much. What do you think? What do you think?
That's pretty much it. I think we did a good summary of what happened in tonight's games, and we should have another podcast soon this week.
Yes, we should. Any day we'll figure it out. We'll put it on the Instagram.
We'll put it up on the Instagram. We'll let all of you guys know when we're going live again.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
And that should
All
be
right.
it on today's episode
Of We Chan Sports Media.
We Chan Sports Media. Yes, sir.
All
Thanks
right.
for tuning in.
Thank you,
for
everybody.
Jake Marino. He is Aiden Rapp. Thanks for tuning in again. So long.
All right. We'll see you next time.